Hello everyone, welcome to CivilPrep. So this is one of the session on PYQPrep where we are looking at several questions which are asked in PYQ and from the geography optional perspective. Okay, so here we are looking at certain questions from the year of 2024. So the first question here we have, that is, mountain regions are more fragile to ecological changes elucidate in 10 marks. Okay, so this is a 2024 PYQ. So if we try to see this question here, we will see that the demand of the question is very clear. That is, the mountain regions are more fragile to ecological changes. So when we look at the mountainous regions, we see that there is a altitudinal variation. Okay, so when we talk about the altitudinal variation, we see here this question belonging to the topic of environment. So from this 3D model, we can see here that there is an elevation, okay, and after a certain region, after a certain height, we can see here that there is presence of ice. Okay, so there is a presence of snow line after a certain variation of height here. So if we look at this aspect, so here we'll be seeing that at the bottom part, at the bottom region here, we will find that either there is presence of tropical rainforest or there will be presence of deciduous forest. Okay, so this is depending upon region to region and from place to place where this particular mountain is situated. Then after this we'll be seeing that there is presence of certain grassland. After grassland there will be an area. Okay, we will see that as we move towards the higher altitude there will be environmental lapse rate, and because of the environmental lapse rate there will be decline in temperature. That is, there will be cooling will occur as we rise, as we climb the mountain. So there will be grassland here which will be majorly of savanna type. Now after this we have certain area which will be of rocky type. Then we'll be having an area where we'll be finding that we have uh, alpine forest. Okay, then we have alpine meadows. That is alpine grassland. Then here we have snow line, and above snow line we have glaciers. So we see here that the same kind of variation also happens latitudinally. Okay, the same kind of variation also happens latitudinally, where the snow line or the ice cap or glacier, it is present majorly in the polar regions. Okay, so this is latitudinal variation, while this is altitudinal variation. Now because of this altitudinal variation we see that the region of these mountains, they become very diverse in nature. Okay, so here we'll be seeing that the diversity of mountains, it is very high. So here we'll be seeing that there is variation of temperature and precipitation, which is determining the type of biome or the type of vegetation or the type of flora or fauna in the mountainous regions. If this temperature and precipitation regime it changes, okay, for example, currently it is changing because of global warming. There has been more than 1.5 degrees Celsius rise in temperature according to IPCC, also UNEP. So this is also impacting the region of these mountains. So when we look at the impact here, we will see here that because of the changes in temperature, this tropical rainforest region it is converted into grassland. Okay, this grassland they are converted into rocky regions. This rocky regions they are expanding here. Okay, the alpine forests they are also declining. The alpine meadows they are also getting converted into rocky region, and the snow line where the glaciers are present it is also melting, and the surfaces they are getting exposed because of the increase in temperature, and these changes this is happening because of the anthropogenic causes. Therefore, making this complete region of mountain very fragile to ecological changes. Okay, it is making this region very fragile to the ecological changes. Now, let's look at certain aspects of the mountainous regions which is getting impacted because of these changes here. So here we can see that this is also one of the lakes which is present in the between the mountainous regions, and this is also getting expanded. Okay, this is becoming GLOF, that is glacial lake outburst flow. So this is also we can see one of the regions, one of the fragile regions, okay, which is present between the mountainous regions. So here we see that the mountainous regions they are inherently fragile. Okay, why? Because of number one, thin soil cover. Why this is? Because of steep slopes. Number three, climate variability, that is altitudinal variation. Apart from this, the presence of biodiversity hotspot, making this region very vulnerable to the ecological disturbances. So we will see that the natural processes as well as the human interventions, this is resulting into the irreversible impact on mountain regions. Okay, looking at certain aspects here. Number one, okay, here we'll be talking about why mountains are ecologically fragile. So number one, we have here the geomorphological constraints. When we look at this aspect, so according to the Davis, under cycle of erosion, The young mountains, they are geologically unstable, which is prone to mass wasting and slope failure. So this is making this particular region ecologically very fragile. Also, we'll see here that the soil formation here, it is very slow. It is very slow here, while the erosion rates are very high. This is due to the gravity-driven processes. Okay. Now, apart from this, we'll also see here that they are also ecologically very sensitive. So under this part, there is RAPS Mountain Ecological Model. Which specifies that the mountain environment they have low resilience to the ecological disturbances. That is their homeostasis, or we can say the self-regulation. Their self-regulation to the changing environment is very low. So because of this, what we will see here that is the altitudinal variation, which we have seen here, this aspect of altitudinal variation. Okay, here we see that the flora and fauna they are highly sensitive to very slight change of temperature or climate shift. Climate shift basically covers the temperature, precipitation, and the other aspects also. So here will be seen that there is also the human-induced pressures. Under the human-induced pressures, will be seeing that there is unsustainable development. For example, Joshimat subsidence, okay, with respect to road and infrastructure. Then number 2, deforestation and agriculture. Okay, so here we will be seeing that this is due to shifting cultivation. Okay, so because of shifting cultivation, we can apply here the Malthusian perspective also. Then number 3, here we'll be seeing there is climate change vulnerability. So under the climate change vulnerability, we are seeing the cryosphere, that is the glaciers, which is present in the mountainous regions. This is resulting into the hazards like glacial lake outburst flow. Okay, the glacial lake outburst flow, which we have seen in the Chamoli disaster in 2021. Okay, Chamoli disaster in 2021. Okay, so how we can overcome, how we can basically explain this from the perspective of geography. So here we can take certain steps which is provided under the sustainable development goals, where we have Agenda 21, which was adopted in Rio Earth Summit in 1992, which calls for the integrated watershed management and community-led conservation also in the mountainous regions. In mountainous regions. Okay, thus concluding here, we can see that mountains are ecologically fragile. Okay, because of the factors which we have seen. But they are exacerbated because of anthropogenic stress. Due to anthropogenic stress, which is resulting into failure of mountain conservation, or we can say mountain region and their conservation, comma, sustainable development. Thus, it is essential to preserve these critical ecological zones for sustainable development. Okay, so this answer we can see here. This is from the perspective of the mountainous regions are more fragile to ecological changes. Why it is? We have seen here. Okay, as part we can see from the various perspective. Okay, so this is a question on the mountainous regions. Okay, so guys, if you like this video, do like, share, and subscribe, and do share it with your friends who are preparing for geography optional UPSC examination. So, friends, see you in the next class. All the best and thank you.